Struggling with prop firms? Let's go.
Hey guys, right, for this video I'm applying the session indicator. So this will obviously shows, London session, New York session. So Asian session in red, London session in blue, New York session obviously overlapping from here in yellow. So today obviously we've been had an interesting day. We are at the news, UK 3 p.m. time, red folder news, and Mr. Powell speaking. And obviously we've had this huge cat pull to the skywards, right, upwards. Now obviously everyone knows, if you've been watching my content for a while, I trade primarily the break and retest strategy. That's been my bread and butter for a long time. So let me just bring that back. I don't know why I just turned that off. So okay, now let's just drop in some of the zones. Now these are all the currency pairs I trade. I used to trade far less than this, but then obviously now there's a few things that I look for, and these currency pairs are basically trading instruments are the ones that obviously give me where I basically look for on a day-to-day basis. So if we just mark out these levels here, whether you want to call them higher lows, higher highs, lows, whatever you want to call it, right? These areas have value, especially over the markets. Now this is a new one that's made obviously, but then what we can do, let me just clean this up a little bit. So look at this. Let's start with this one. Price obviously absolutely tears through this, right? Now by the way, if I just zoom out a little, you might be thinking, why is this as the support reacting? This, my dear friends, is reacting to this wick over here, because once upon a time this wick, this area, was a high. Well, in this case this was the high, if you want a lower high or however you want to look at it, but it did have some value on the charts, on the markets. That's why prices come down and is reacting to this. And if I even go back, I would have done something like this as well. So here, here, this one's not that much clean, but I hope you get the idea. And this is all I'm doing, keeping things very, very simple, right? Is what I now this is obviously it's obviously what I like to look at and take into consideration as well. It's not the exact way, the break and retest, the way I refined it. This is not how I exactly trade. If any of my students are watching from my one-to-one mentorship, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But these are levels, right? Even this one over here, believe it or not, this high, this wick will have, look at this, see? What I'll do is, let me just change the color of this, right? Let's change it. Look at this, right? People just think, resistance has to look like a certain way, the rejections have to look like a certain way, the support levels, no. Zones come in different shapes, forms, trust me, candlestick patterns, different, look at this. None of the candle bodies have closed above this zone. None of the candle bodies. What do you think one should do? Obviously now we're coming to the weekend, right? It's Friday today, volume decreased, so I'm not speaking about today, even though it possibly could, but I'm just giving an example. If this was fresh, like in the weekdays, more volume, we can be reliable on the volume. So look at this, that's it, right? That's it. And even if you look at this, look at all these multiple wick rejections, drag it across. Simple, right? Very, very simple. Now obviously I'm not going into really fine-tuning the zones and things like that, but if you're a beginner watching this video, intermediate level, this will be still a game. It will help you a lot. Trust me when I say that, it will help you a lot. Now let's work off some of the levels that I've already drawn here. So one would be obviously here. Just mark out some of these. And trading at its core, what I believe, is super simple, right? And that's the message I try to get across. Now you got this zone here, right? Now look at this, and you might be like, hey Don, well, you got this support here, this low, high, low here. You on price making at this point, look at this. This was a high. You know, let's just break this down, dissect this. This high, lower high if you want to call it, gets broken and creates a new high, right? Price now comes back down, comes back up, trying to, if we would have broken this high, we bet bullish. But even this, you know, high never gets broken. So overall, when you have confusion like this, right, are we bullish or bearish, you got to see who is mostly in control, buyers or sellers. Are buyers creating their skyscrapers? Are they successful in creating their skyscrapers? Skyscrapers, what do I mean by that? These new highs. Or are sellers digging deeper tunnels into the ground? You know, so this, you know, they're going deeper and deeper below this one. So you got to look at it like that, and that will tell you who's in control. Very simple. So look at this. This high was created here. This, look at this. This now higher low. So price making higher highs, higher low. Why this higher low failed to break this low? So this is like, okay, you know what, buyers, you know, could be winning the battle. But then we get, look at this, low, a lower, lower high again, right? So it's like a bit of tug of war. First the sellers win, then the buyers win. Buyers still winning, but then it's like, sellers are winning, start to win again, right? And ideally, now you might be actually, okay, where should I look for a buy anyway? If I was thinking, you know, but first of all, let me just mark this as a zone as well, so it just makes it more understandable for you guys. By the way, if anyone is, if you've been trading for a long time, if you are struggling, link will be in the video description. You know, it's about transparency. You can check out the testimonial side. You know, it's all in there. I post my winning trades, losing trades, and all that. I've been super busy for the last week and a half, so I've not had a chance. But you can see funder certificate sections. Some students even post their payouts. You know, it's all in there. It's all in there, right? I just show passing challenge in 1-2 days, 1-2 trades. You know, sometimes a little bit extra trades, but I mean, it's always consistently the 2 free days. Sometimes even 1 day. But you can check it. It's all in there. Hit me up. Link will be in the video description. Okay, so moving forward. So what happens here, right? This zone collapses. But at this level, if you look, price does hold its ground. The zone, sorry, holds its ground. But why does it collapse? News. News will always try to take, as you know, if you call it liquidity sweeps, call it whatever you want to call it. Stay the hell away from news. It's always good. You can never ever, if you ever you know, predict the news once or twice, in my eyes, it's luck, it's fluke. And how many times will luck be on your side? Not 100% of the time. So my advice is just stay away from something like this. But on average, now look at this, right? This here, right? So price is obviously, this is a low. We make a new high, we make a higher low. Price comes here, and then it collapses. So we break these two levels over here. Now we bearish again. See, now on gold, right? This is what you ideally want to look for. You want to look for zones when you're trading the break and retest. You want to see highs, higher lows being respected, of course. So you mark out the levels, then you want to see them get respected, and then you take your entry. Very, very simple, right? And obviously, when you backtest this, you don't want to trade something like choppy like this. That's the kind of stuff that you want to stay away from, right? Let me see if I find you an example. So actually, look at this. So this would get marked out, right? And you can see price. Look at this. Price respects this, right? Actually, it would actually be that would be the actual law. Apologies for that. So price comes here, reacts from it. Price breaks through. Look at that. If I go on a small time frame, I'm going to get definitely a retest rejection, and you can see how clean. And I'm sure you can even pull out a nice little, maybe a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, maybe 1 to 5. Are we good? Let's see what we can get. A 1 to 4, 1 to 4.5. I'll take that on a 100k account, 200k account. That's a nice amount of money. And look at this. Now, one thing here, guys. Once a zone has been broken, leave it. Right? I like to trade off brand new fresh zones that have not been tested. Look at this. Price breaks through, comes down. See this here, right? If you are taking the buy, but ideally, you know, and you know what? Let's even go on a small time frame, right? Because there's ways to do this. Now this is obviously Asian session and London session about to start. So if you go to a small time frame, watch this. Watch this. Again. Price makes a new high. Let's see compared to that. So okay, price is basically testing this as resistance, right? We've got the zone here, resistance. Price comes back down, right? Now do you take your buy, right? Now I'm showing you, I've shown different patterns over the last few months how you can take your buy positions. Let me just focus on the chart. So basically what happens over here, price breaks through. So this was a zone, this high, right? And then what happens? Oh, let me just mark this out. It's not clean the way. Okay, now it's better. Price breaks through, creates a new high. Price breaks through this. Look at this. Now, this gets broken. Now we've got a new low. Does that mean you take the buy? No. Right? Hell no. Now, in this case, in this case over here, you might have thought, I'll take a buy from here. This long wick rejection candle. If you did, in this case, you would probably lose the trade. But also, you can see this head and shoulder pattern forming as well. It's not even giving you a signal to take a buy yet. This is one thing that where they go wrong. And remember, I'm telling you this, right? One is price giving you the breakout. It's a whole different thing waiting for letting price establish itself at the zone. And once you get good at this, trust me, it becomes very simple. When you get something like this, just leave it. Wait for another setup, right? Ideally. But if you do this, you trade, look at this huge bearish candle. Engulfing bearish. Now, normally, something like this powerful, it doesn't really have any value in my eyes if it's happening above support. If it's below resistance, then it's got more value. But still, you can't deny the fact that something like this has presented itself. You gotta be patient and wait for the right time. Look at this. Eventually, what starts happening? Low. Look at this. This level here breaks this level, right? So let's mark out this one. And I'm just trying to clean these up as much as possible. And then what happens, right? So we got another level over here. This one. But this time it's a wick rejection. And price, let me change the color of it to a yellow so it sticks out. Price respects this as support. And now what happens? We've got all the, look at this. There you go. Look, resistance, multiple wick rejections, resistance. We've got support established successfully here. And you know what, this kind of pattern, if you're very, very familiar with your patterns, what is happening? We've got pressure building, basically. Why? Look at this. Price is at a ceiling, resistance. But then also we are making higher lows. We are definitely bullish until all that pressure builds. Boom. Price breaks out. When price breaks out, even at this point, price breaks out, bullish candle breakout. Got bullish engulfing. You can obviously, again, there's so many ways to trade the markets, guys. Whether you look at entries, put your stops below this blue zone here. Also, this bullish engulfing, that's you enter off that and let price just absolutely fly, right? Now, this is also a breakout strategy, but that's not obviously how I trade. So price breaks through, right? Now, you want obviously something of better quality than that. A better confluence, I should say. So obviously you've got a breakout. Now, once price breaks out, what you can do is obviously look at this on the a little bit bigger time frame, 5-minute candle. And once you understand your zones, everything else becomes super simple, right? Look at this. Let me just clean this up. Okay. This wick rejection respected as resistance, breakout with this wick rejection as support. We've got support, resistance. That's my level of, there's a resistance here in the beginning, then support later on. That's why price comes here. You can enter off this. Now, if you're keeping things very simple, obviously, look at this. Even a free 30 pip stop loss, in this case, turns out to be a very big stop loss. Once you've dissected everything, even 20 pip stop loss, and you can see why, such gains are possible if you know how to mark up your zones, break down the charts. Sniper entries will have, it'll become much easier for you. Trading overall becomes very, very simple, and that's obviously what I try to show on a daily basis to everyone. Now, obviously, the way I trade the break and retest is a little bit different. I'm just trying to mark up. Let's grab a different one more chart. Let's grab the good old Euro USD. Right. Let me just remove any drawings that are just in the way. So what I'll do is let me just move this. Okay. Now there's a way that some other one of my students, and basically what he was trying to do was just trade London session only. There are some that only trade New York session. Me personally, I like to trade both simply because I just think if there's more opportunities. Now normally someone says if there's more opportunities you can lose more money. I agreed, but if you know how to manage your losses when you know how to manage your risk, then you pretty much alright anyway. It doesn't matter how many times you enter the markets. Still though, if you enter the markets at the right time, still I would say now there's a student of mine, one student also I just want to mention, he enters only on London Open. Let me bring myself in for this, and I wanted to show you guys, right? He only enters. Now what do you think he does at London Open? And this is what he does. I'm not, at the time frame, he's okay with me telling you pretty much does this on the 30-minute, sometimes on the 15-minute. Look at this. Let me mark it out. Okay, what do you see over here, guys and girls who I was watching? We've got a little bit of resistance here. Price breaks through. Boom. Goes to a small time frame, takes his entry. He allows the London volume to come in and take over. So his stop loss is quite high, about 4 pips for Euro USD. 1 to 5 there, right? 1 to 5. Now he's got this down, perfected, right? Perfected. Now in this case here, if I was to mark a support level here, for example, why does this not work? Well, price is already down. London opens here around this time. Price never came up here, so you leave it. Now obviously he's got his way of trading, but I'm just showing you that the break and retest happens all the time. It always will continue to do so. Let me show you one more that I've just found. I don't trade like this because me personally, I could come to the markets. I rather prefer coming to the markets every single day. This method is good in the sense that one trade a day. Look, this price breaks through, comes back up, goes on a small time frame, looks for the rejection on a much small time frame, and then let's price do its thing. And I mean, you can see, right? It's crazy. But why? It's the break and retest, and that's why the break and retest is so powerful, right? It is so it's insane. Do we have an example over here? And yeah, we've got a level over here. Price breaks through, comes down. You can try this out. Obviously, he does other things with this strategy. Like, it's not just I'm just trying to 1 to 5 there, one trade, boom, done for the day. Like he has his ways of ignoring these. Sometimes they can get a bit choppy. I'm not giving you exactly, but he knows what he's looking for every single day. Obviously the way when I showed him the break and retest, when I showed him my strategy, he applied his own version, but just to London Open. But yeah, I mean, he's made it work for himself. I mean, another good example over here. This one here, that would be a losing trade, but this one over here, let's mark this one out, and then we'll let's go on the much small time frame. Yeah, okay. Now, how do you think he would go about this, right? How do you think he'll go about this? I'll tell you. Well, how I would do this, right? We got our high over here, our low, higher low, well, lower high, lower lows and lower highs, and then price starts, makes this high, and then this low, higher low is lower than this one. But not only that, look at this. Price, these double equal highs, or you would call it, have failed to break this. So now we're making new lows, but at the same time, these highs have failed to break the previous highs. Then what do you think one should wait for? Right? Wait for the market to break this. If you go to, I think maybe let's see the 1 hour, 1 minute time frame. There you go. breaks. I mean, this, something like this, if this closed bearish as well, you can just take an entry here, impulse entry even, right? About 4 pip stop loss. Price is clearly showing where it wants to go. Boom, 1 to 9. These are just kind of different things. Like I get to speak to different kinds of people all around the world, sharing their thoughts and strategies of their previous strategies. I even have profitable students coming to the mentorship who, you know, are already profitable, but they just want to see learn how I draw my zones. This is just the surface level the way I draw my zones. But yeah, you know, I hope you found value from this. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and if you are struggling, be struggling for a year, just join the Discord community. We're past 1,500 members. And yeah, just DM me. Remember one thing as well, I would never ever message anyone first. Be careful of scammers and all these fake, you know, fake accounts. Message me directly, one-to-one. Yeah. Oh, and also, if I do have, you know, the most affordable course on the internet, 12 super detailed videos. These get updated as well with webinars. So yeah, price will be changing in the near future, but for now it's this. Yeah, I hope you found value. Take care. I'm out.